Hey y'all, so I've been wanting to record this video for a long time, and what better time to do it than when I have a fussy baby who won't let me study. So this is a video about studying as a mom or dad or parent. Yeah, which is kind of hard to do. Yeah, so I get a lot of messages from moms asking how I study and how I do it with kids. And I've gained some tips and tricks over the years. A little bit of my story. I had my first son, Riley, halfway through paramedic school. Yeah. I started in August, had Riley in January, and graduated in August. And it was 2 nights a week, so my parents watched him when I was in class, and then I studied with him during the day while I was nursing or while he was in the bouncer. And then I went back to college when he was 18 months, had my second son. I graduated with my associates in science at a community college in August. And then had my second son that following October. And then I started at a university that following January. So, and then this little guy, I had him in the middle of my college, in my university. I will graduate this May, and my kids will be 7, 4, and 2 when I graduate. So I have been my entire career of in school with kids and making it all work. So I've learned some tips and tricks along the way, and I want to share them with y'all because I know some of you are in the same boat. But before I say that, I want to say firstly that it is absolutely worth it. It is so hard to do school with kids, but it's so worth it because you're teaching them and being a role model to them that they can accomplish anything. It doesn't matter if you're a parent, doesn't matter if you're older, like, I'm 29. I'll be 30 when I graduate college. It doesn't matter what obstacles get in your way or what happens in your life. You can still accomplish your dreams, and that is an invaluable lesson to teach them. And they love that I'm in school. My oldest is in school right now, and he loves that we're both in school. My middle son loves to study with me and do homework, which he colors while I study and says that we're doing homework together. And so they have a lot of fun with it, and it doesn't really affect them too much. My oldest son did go to daycare when I was in community college, and then I did online classes at the university, did my major online. So that's a little bit different. And then now, when I'm finishing my senior year, I'm taking some night classes, so my husband is home with them. So we've done a little bit of it all. We've done the daycare scenario, we've done me not going to school at all and doing it all online, and now me doing night classes. Yeah. Me doing night classes so that I can be home with them during the day and that daddy can be their daycare instead of paying for daycare, which is uber expensive. So I can give you tips on how I did each of those and then give you my little tricks. Yeah, we got a fussy baby today. So when I did have my son in daycare for community college, the best thing I can tell you is to study and get everything done in between classes while the kid is in the daycare. What I did is I had everything in my backpack and I took it to school with me, and I put my classes an hour or 2 breaks in between them, and I did everything while I was at school. So that way when I came home, my backpack stayed in my car. And it did not ever enter the house. I did not study in the home at all. And I love that because when I was home, and that was time for me to be a mom, me to be a wife, and to cook and clean and take care of the house and spend time with my son and my husband. So that's what I did when he was in daycare. Now, when I went to online classes, I couldn't do that. It's impossible because my home is my school. So for online classes, I try to stick to nap and bedtime for study times, and I try to do as much as I can while the kids are sleeping. That way, when they're awake, I'm with them, and when I'm with them, I'm 100% with them. I'm playing, I'm, spending quality time with my kids. And when they nap, I study as much as I can, and then I do it when they go to bed. This can make you go to bed really late if you have a lot to do, and so it can limit your sleep. And the only thing you need to worry about that is if you're really tired the next day, then your quality time with your kids are going to suffer a bit because you're going to be irritable and tired and exhausted. So when I feel like that's starting to encroach on my family time, then I start trying to go to bed earlier and trying to do some stuff over the weekend while Daddy watches them. And worst case scenario, there's always cartoons. I'll put on a cartoon for them. We usually do PBS because it's educational, and I feel less bad about that. What are you eating? Don't eat that. So, yeah, so worst case scenario, we watch some cartoons and I get some studying done while they watch cartoons. And then night classes, it's kind of nice because I get to go on campus. The library closes at 10 p.m. My class lets out at 9 on Tuesday and Friday, and Thursdays it lets out at 7. So I'm planning on going to the library every day. Then I'm on campus until the library closes because I'm already out of the house. The dad already has the kids. I'm not missing quality time with them because they're put to bed. And then I can get some library time. And then I'm also going to be MCAT studying on the weekends from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. while the kids nap. This way, I'm not missing out on them because they're napping. And even though that's usually my time with my husband because he's home on the weekends and their kids are napping, it actually is kind of nice for him to get some alone time because he works all day with other people and then he comes home to a house full of kids and a wife. And so it's kind of become his alone time and he likes it, and it kind of all gives us, some time. And that's how I do it. Yes, baby, they're playing. Just a minute. So, that's my older kids. Yeah. Say hi. Okay. So, that's how I study school-wise. My tips and tricks, like I said, cartoons are a last resort for us. The kids love it. They think they're getting something special because they're getting to watch some cartoons. I get to study while being in the room with them. A few other things I do is I always carry a study book with me. A textbook or MCAT book or whatever it is, because there's always doctors' waiting rooms. There's downtime all the time. That you don't even realize you're missing out on, whether it's just 30 minutes or longer. So, I will take a book with me everywhere and study anywhere that I can. Even if it's stop and go traffic, I'm one of those people where I can't stand not doing something. So if I'm sitting in traffic, I'm looking at my study book. I also use flashcards throughout the house. I put them in the bathrooms because obviously you're going to spend some time in there. I put some in a Ziploc bag and I can use it in the shower. No. 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 Yeah. He's fussy today. So flashcards, put them in Ziploc baggies. You can use them in the shower. Also, a friend of mine was studying everywhere with a dry erase marker, writing on her shower wall. That works too. Hey. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Some other things I do is, as a parent, that you're always worried about your kids breaking something or hurting themselves or, the million things that could happen with kids. So, if we have to go somewhere, like on Thursdays, my oldest son has therapy for 2 hours. I will get there 30 to 45 minutes early, and then I study in the car while they're strapped into the car seats. Because I know they can't go anywhere. They can't break anything. They can't hurt themselves. They're strapped down. And that sounds a little bad, but you parents know what I'm talking about. So I will study in the car for 30, 45 minutes. They're either listening to music or they're watching a movie on the van. And they're having fun. They don't really care that they're sitting in the car for 30 minutes. I mean, the air conditioner's on. I don't leave them in a car. But I sit in the car with them and I study a little bit. I also take my book with me to therapy. Because, again, waiting rooms, study, best places to study. I also will use, if I really need extra studying, I will take them out to lunch at like a McDonald's or a Chick-fil-A, and they play on the playground, and I sit in the restaurant and study, usually with this little guy, because it takes him longer to eat. So he eats and I study, and we do that every Thursday after therapy. So I get extra study time, and they think it's a blast. It's a treat for them to go out to eat and to go play on a playground. I will take my book outside with me while they go play on the playground, because I'm not getting up on that playground. I'm a grown adult that is a little overweight, so I'm not going to go climb on their playground. But they go play on the playground, and I will study. Really squeeze it in anywhere you can without cutting into family time. If they're sitting at the kitchen table coloring, then I don't feel bad about highlighting or doing notes with my colorful pens, because they think I'm coloring too, and it makes it like we're all doing it together. They're coloring, I'm coloring. I also got workbooks for my older kids. Like my son's about to go into first grade, so he has a first grade workbook. And then my other son, I got him a preschool one. So we'll do our workbooks together, where I'm studying and they're doing their workbooks, and kind of make it a family thing. We usually do those when Daddy is cooking. If Daddy's cooking dinner, then we sit all together before dinner and do our workbooks. So, you know, just that does not go in your mouth. So, see, sticking things in the mouth, that's something you have to worry about. So, I just try to squeeze it in anywhere I can. Nap times and bedtimes are the best, and you really need to be on top of your time management. To-do lists, planners. If you're limited on what time you can study, so if you're limited to your nap time, and I know that my nap time, their nap time is between 2 and 3 hours, which the big kids don't always nap. I just tell them to play quietly in their room or to lay down in bed and read books. So, if, it's okay, baby. It's okay, baby. Hey, Ian. What's the matter? What's the matter? Look, who's that pretty boy? Who's that pretty boy? I wouldn't let him eat something that he shouldn't be eating. So, if they are, you want down? You want down? Okay. Go play. No, you can't have the TV remote. Nope. Okay. Now the baby has escaped. So, yeah, you're always distracted when you have kids around, because you're worried about where they're going and what they're getting into and what they're putting in their mouth and what they shouldn't be doing or what they are doing. So try to sneak it in anywhere you can without encroaching on family time. And if you are using a time like nap time where you have only specific time period, like I know that they nap between 2 to 3 hours, and my big boys don't always nap. So what I tell them is they have to do quiet time in their room. That way they're not running around waking up the baby. So they will either read in their bed, or they will play in their room quietly. They just have to be in their room, and they have to be quiet. And sometimes they pass out because they're tired, you know, but sometimes they don't, and that's fine. So when I know that I only have 2 to 3 hours because it's nap time, I have to be very strategic with my time. And so I can't sit down and start my to-do list when I know I only have 2 to 3 hours. So I have my to-do list ready to go. I know what is due, you know, when. Keep track of your due dates with calendars and everything. And I know what my priority is and what I'm going to focus on. And then that way, when I go into it in those 2 hours, I know exactly what I'm doing, and I get down to work. I don't watch TV. I listen to music because I can't study in the silence, thanks to my kids. Hayden, don't eat a highlighter. I swear, life of a mom is a whole other thing. So I will, I spend those 2 hours studying. If I know I only have those 2 hours, I spend those 2 hours studying. And I do everything I can in those 2 hours. So you just need, as a parent that's studying, you need to be very strategic about your time and get it in when you can. And find fun ways to include it with your kids. You know, whether it's coloring all together and they think, you know, oh, we're coloring and mommy's coloring too, but, you know, in actuality, I'm doing homework. They like to help me highlight my books, which can get a little confusing when you go to study it and there's these pretty pictures. But just include them in it. I mean, a lot of parents hide it. And yes, I do the bulk of my studying during nap time or bedtime. And that's because I need the focus. But they like to be included and they like time with you no matter what you're doing. They don't really care what you're doing as long as they have quality time with you. So include them in your studying, make it fun for them. And, study flashcards in the bathroom, study flashcards in the shower, dry erase marker, study in the car, get there early somewhere. Or, I'll even leave late. I'll get, we're done with the doctor's appointment. I'll put everybody in the car, put a movie on in the van or put some music on, and then I study for 30 minutes and then we leave because they're already there. They're entertained. They're strapped down. I don't have to worry about something breaking or them choking on something or them hurting themselves or what are they getting into because they're in their car seats. So I take advantage of the car seats and I'll study before and after we leave places. And I just, allot that time. Chick-fil-A, McDonald's playgrounds are also great. They play. Some malls have playgrounds. Ours has a little one. So they'll play and I'll study. Take a book with you everywhere you go so that you can squeeze in studying anywhere you're at. And just kind of squeeze it in when you can. And do what you can and how you can and know your limits. I take semesters off when I have a baby. That's my maternity leave. I can't do that for med school, which is why we are done having kids. And, know your limits. My husband was deployed, and I survived one semester with a 4.0 with online classes, and I just had the 2 kids at the time, but they were 1 and 3. But I knew that I almost killed myself doing that, and that the kids and family life was struggling, so I took a break the next semester. If you sign up for 16 hours and your family life is really struggling, cut back, do 12 hours. I mean, I'm 30, graduating in May, and I've been a college student on and off for 12 years. You don't need to graduate in 4 years. Just do what you can when you can, even if that's 1 class, 2 class, 3 classes. And find the hidden times. I mean, I don't watch a lot of TV when school is going on because it's a waste of my time. If I'm not studying, I'm spending time with my kids. If I'm not spending time with kids, I'm spending time with my husband, or I'm studying. So I don't really have 3 hours to go watch something. I do watch movies with my husband, but that's part of our husband-wife time. So, to get what you also... One more thing, if you belong to a gym, I belong to the Y. They do 2 hours of daycare. So if I go in around lunchtime because my oldest son's in school, so I take the other 2 kids. I'll put them in, do an hour workout, take like a 15-minute shower, and then use the other 45 minutes to study. They're already in daycare. They're already playing. They're already having fun. Why not take advantage of that little bit of time? So basically my biggest... Sorry, my baby is all over the place in the kitchen. So basically my biggest tip for studying as a mom is or as a dad or a parent is 1, do not feel guilty about it. Do not have the mom guilt, the dad guilt. I have it too. We all have it, but try not to have it because what you're doing is you're providing a better future for them and you're setting a good example and being a role model for them. So drop the mommy guilt and the daddy guilt and just do it because it's better for them in the long run, even if they have less time with you now. The other thing is study when you can, how you can, whatever you can. Like I don't sit for 8 hours at a library. I do 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, 2 hours at nap time. I might get 3-4 hours done at bedtime. And honestly, I should be sleeping more, but bedtime to me is like a gift from God because the husband is asleep, the kids are asleep, the house is silent, and I don't have to worry about anyone because they're sleeping, they're safe, they're healthy, they're not destroying anything, they're not in danger. And that's my time that I get to really breathe and just be at peace and focus on me. So I stay up pretty late, but that's my time. And I get studying done during my time. Although that's sometimes more relaxed if I've gotten on track. But keep up with due dates. Okay, honey, it's okay. Keep up with your to-do list. Keep up with your calendar and your due dates. And get it in when you can. I mean, it's really, there's no best way to do this. You're a parent. Kids are crazy. They're unpredictable. But it's worth it to go to school with kids. I still have a 4.0 and I'm making it work, and you can do it too. So I totally believe in you. You can be a parent and study. If you have any questions, message me on Instagram at PremedMomGetsFit. Oh, no, that's wrong. Ha! I changed my Instagram to match my YouTube. So go to my Instagram at BlessHerHealth and message me if you have any questions about parenting and studying, and I will help in any way I can. And you can do it. Trust me. If I can have a 4.0 and MCAT study and spend time with my kids, then you can too. So go do it. Go kill it. Set a good example for your kids and rock that mom student life or dad student life. Have a great day, y'all. Bye.